I noticed that there are barbers who are struggling with low taper fades and low fades. You understand? You're trying to do a low fade, before you know, you don't reach middle. You understand? That's a problem some barbers are facing, the inability to like just regulate the length of the fade. Now, I'm going to be doing a low taper fade today. Next time I'm going to be doing a low fade, so that you guys can understand how to maintain the length of the fade and not take it high up to the middle. So I'm going to be using my clipper to just taper the hair down a little bit. Since it's a 1 guard level, I'm going to using the clipper lever open, to just taper the hair in the temple area, to keep it as low as possible.
But before we continue, if you are just coming across my channel for the first time, please do well to tap the subscribe button and turn on the notification button. So I'm going to be using the clipper lever closed. Now notice where I'm putting my blade. Look at this part of the ear, this very part. I'm going to be like putting my first guideline around that axis, not above the ear,
because it's a low taper fade, right? Not a mid taper fade. And please don't close the lever all the way up. If your clipper is not zero gapped, don't close it all the way up so it doesn't create a harsh line, and so that it doesn't hurt your client, right? So I'm just gonna use my clipper lever open and fade out that first my first guideline, usually just 1 inch, right? Don't go too high. Then the next thing you do is you close the lever half closed, right? And then you fade to the middle of that first guideline that you created, right? After that, then you close the lever completely. Now you're going to be fading the bottom of the first guideline that you created, like completely taking it out. Okay, the next thing I'll do here is I'll open the lever all the way open, right? And use the corner of the blade to look this part, but you have to like tell yourself to be patient. Just take your time to use the corner of the blade and take out the density that you see there, right? It's not going to go out at once, right? The reason why your fades are usually messed up is because you want to get the results instantly. So when you use a 1 guard and you don't get the result instantly, you take out the guard and use the 0 guard to try to take that out, and that only creates another guideline which makes the fade go higher, right? Like I told you on Facebook today, I'm going to be teaching you how I cut hair, how I get my own results, right? Not how to cut hair, basically. You understand? So this is how I get my own results. As you can see, like the density is gradually going out, because if I want to use a 1 guard, to like use it to fade out this bulk that you are seeing up there, it's going to make the low fade to go a little unnecessarily higher. And this my client, he's very sensitive. He doesn't like his fade going high. He notices those little details. So you can see I'm just closing the lever halfway closed and using the corner of the blade to just do detailing work there, right? So because the hair is low, right, it's a 1 guard level, so I'm not going to be using a guard or anything. I'm just going to be using the corner of the blade to patiently take out the density. Take a step backwards, right, and look at the fade. Where do you see density? Then trace that particular place and fade it out. If you're able to master this technique, right, to be honest with you, you will have less issues creating low taper fades, especially when you're trying to do a low taper fade and then before you know it, you don't turn mid fade, because you are using a guard. And when you use a guard, you create multiple guidelines. Example now, let's say normal 2-step. You want to do a normal 2-step, or let's like a high fade. You understand? You're going to have to use more than 1 or 2 or even 3 guards, to accomplish that fade, which is going to make the fade go high because it is a high fade. You understand? So you want to, if you are doing a low fade and you want to follow all the rules of using a 1 guard, 1.5 guard, 2 guard to accomplish a low fade, it is going to make the fade go unnecessarily high. So you don't have to use too many guards, because if you use too many guards, you're going to create multiple guidelines, right? Now look at this fade. I did this fade with just 1 guideline. I created only just one guideline, and that was all. I just used that 1 guideline to do detailing and I got my low fade. So imagine now, say I create another guideline with 1 guard, the fade will go higher, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So basically it's just create the first guideline with the clipper lever open and then fade it out. Now we're going to be fading the nape area, right? I'm going to be using my low precision trimmer. I think everybody has this trimmer, almost everybody should. This trimmer is not so sharp, right? It's I use it mostly for shaving, beneath the jaw, the chin area, or the nape area, which is the back. This back is called the nape area, right? It's very sensitive, easily irritable. Any small sharp centimeter touch, you could just start to see irritation, and before you know it, the client is getting bumps around that area.
Now, the hair growth pattern of my client's nape area is very weird, right? You can see that instead of growing downwards, right, the hair is growing to the right. Yeah, so I'm going to brush it exactly with the grain, the way it grew. So I'm going to fade it in the opposite direction. So since it's growing to the right, I'm going to be fading it to the left. On his occipital bone, you can see a little bulk that is there. It's not equal to the rest of the hair that is below it, right? So I'm going to be using the same one guard that I used, because I used that one guard lever open. So I'm going to close the lever and use it on that occipital bone, to like lower the hair. I think the reason why the bulk is being stubborn around there is because of the wave that you see there. So I'm going to start the fade as usual, by opening my lever and going in 1 inch, against the grain. And like I told you earlier, the hair growth pattern is to the right? So we're going to be brushing to the right and fading to the left, right? So you brush to the right and fade to the left. You fade in the opposite direction of the hair growth pattern. Next, you bring your lever to the middle, half close, and use it to go against that first guideline that you created to the middle of that 1 inch guideline. Right, don't go all the way up. Just use that half close, to fade to the middle of that first guideline that you have created. Right, so as you can see, I'm just touching it lightly, nothing too hard, not to graze too hard against the skin. Then we close the lever all the way up, right, and use it to take lightly. Don't press too hard against the skin, like I told you. Just use it to take out that first guideline completely, like the bottom of that first guideline, right? Use it to like erase it completely. Don't go to the middle this time around, because you know that the middle we did a half guard close there. So we're going to use my plastic one guard, right, to create a second guideline. Now remember what I told you in the beginning when we were doing the temple area. I told you that the more guards you use, the more guidelines you create, and the more guidelines you create, the higher the fade goes. So the second guideline is also going to be 1 inch or 1.5 inch, depending on how long the nape area is, right? So you do it 1 inch, right, in a flicker motion. Don't fade straight up, just fade and pull it towards yourself. You understand? You can see I'm brushing with the direction of the hair, and also fading with the direction of how the hair grows. The hair grows to the right, so I'm fading to the left. You fade in the opposite direction, right? You don't fade with the grain. When you fade with the grain, you cause patches. So I'm going to be using my half guard lever open, right, to take out the beginning of that second guideline that was created by the one guard, right? So I want to carefully erase that guideline. I might need to do a little detailing with the angle of the clipper, like the edge, to not create another guideline with the half guard. So I'm not going all the way up, and then I'm brushing to the right and fading to the left, as you can see. Then I'll use my zero guard, right, to just do a little detailing work beneath that area, right? I don't want to create another guideline, so I'm going to be using just the corners of the clipper to just take out any density that I see, any gathering of hair, any unwanted gathering that is around that side. Then I'll use my 1.5 guard, to attack the bulk that I see up there. 1.5 guard lever open, right? I don't like that bulk up there, right? So make sure that you put your finger, at the back of the 1.5 guard, so that it doesn't accidentally, slip out, and before you know it, you don't do skin cut for person. All right, so I'm using the comb, right, to not stretch the hair. You understand? When you use a brush, I'm going to make a video about this, the difference between using a brush to fade and using a comb to fade. You will notice that the hair is not long, you understand, but I'm still using a comb. I'm going to make a video and explain the psychology behind all of that. Then we close the lever, right, and try to create a transition between the guideline which was created with the one guard and the guideline that was created with this 1.5 guard. That is the reason for using lever closed in the first place. Now it's time for the final detailing, right? I love detailing because detailing feels like magic to me. When I'm doing detailing, like I'm not holding the clipper too tight, I'm just holding it very light, and then using it to just create this slick little moves and touches, and like I just like have a bird eye view of the entire fade. You understand? So I'm just using the angle of the clipper to just create transitions and
taking out any density that I see.
So I just washed my client's hair. Right now, the reason why I washed the hair, I told you in my previous video that I washed the hair because I want the fade to scatter. Yes, I want the fade to be messed up, so that I can see, I can get an idea of what the fade will look like when he goes home and take a shower. You understand? Make can't do fade now. Person go house, go shower, then the fade will come, they look like say, they miss one part where they miss one part where. So you can see the back too. There's still need for a little detailing at the back, and then I'm doing a detailing at the temple area. Now, I use my hair mousse, to hold the hair down and lay it in place. Instead of using the holding spray, which takes time to dry for me, to be honest, I just use this one. This one dries faster, and then it gives me a scratch effect. Now, let me tell you a secret. I'm sure all of us know what it feels like or what it looks like when it's dry season or when it's cold season, like when the weather is very cold and then your skin is very dry, right? And then something scratches or you scratch your skin, and then those white lines that appear when you scratch after your skin is dry, that is what I call scratch effect, and I use that same method in barbering. Right? So some people are usually saying, which type of pencil did you use? I don't use pencil. Now just be see the skin dry, so I just use my trimmer to like graze against the skin, and then it gives me that scratch effect that looks like I used a pencil. Sometimes I don't use pencils. You understand? So that is my secret. Instead of using the pencil, sometimes I can just use that scratch effect, to get a highlight of the lineup. So when I lay the mousse on the hair, right, I want to make sure that I follow the exact growth pattern of the hair. The part that is growing to the left, I brush it to the left. If you are going to the right, make they go right. If you are going up, they go up. You understand? So that because the hair is going to dry, so I want it to dry up in the right position. You understand? So that the fade and the haircut will look as nice as possible. Now, the lineup. I will not be able to show you the lineup or how I did the lineup in this video, because that is a whole topic on its own, right? You have to look at bone structure and parietal ridge and all of that. So I'm going to be doing that in another video when we start posting proper. I'm just going to show you the result. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button.